sea otters, eagles, black bears, many other land and sea mammals. Beautiful scenery, rivers set in old-growth forests, fresh seafood meals daily, including local fish, crabs, and prawns. Now this is what you can expect when you visit my beachfront lodge on the shores of Quatsino Sound on the northwest coast of Vancouver Island.
On today's show, our flight will take us up the west coast of Vancouver Island up to Quatsino Sound. And then we'll be into Neurotosis Inlet into the little community of Port Alice. I think that when they first married a Cessna with a set of floats, they must have had the west coast in mind, because there is no better way to get around this part of the world than in a 185 amphibian. Our flight today takes us up to the top end of Vancouver Island. The gateway to northern Vancouver Island is Campbell River. Then from there, it's up to Port Alice, passing over Port McNeill en route. Together, the three northern island communities of Port Hardy, Port McNeill, and Port Alice form what the locals refer to as the tri-port area of Vancouver Island. And this is one of my favorite places in Canada. Our final destination today is northwest of Port McNeill. It's Neurotosis Inlet and the small town of Port Alice, which sits on its protected shoreline. It's carved out of the Pacific rainforest. Today in Port Alice, there are just 800 residents. So this is basically an integral part of Port Alice right here.
This is the entrance of Port Alice on Neurotosis Inlet. Neurotosis Inlet. That's what
the locals call it. Right?
No, the people in Quatsino.
The Quatsino people call this neurosis. Why?
Well, I think they think some of the people have been in the rain shadow too long.
Yeah, so it's neurotosis, and this is where people were coming up here for years and years, of course. Probably more than half a century, there was no road in here.
There was no road in here till 1965.
And Blair, you're a living legend up here on the coast, and you made your fame at Knights Inlet, and you're here. Why did you come here?
After 28 years and loving Knights Inlet, the fish product wasn't there for me, for my customers as a sports fisherman. So I relocated to Port Alice, retired to Port Alice, but now when the people come here, I know I can provide a product for them. It is exciting.
So what would people do then if they wanted to get away from it all?
I would love to spend some quality time showing you the beauty of the scenery and the wildlife on display in this isolated but calm inlet waterway. Small groups of from 3 to 6 guests get to enjoy the privacy that allows us to be personalized and enjoy these trips. We specialize in sea otters, but round out your stay with in-depth study of the animals, history, beautiful scenery, and seafood this remote area has to offer. Get in our comfortable boat or four-wheel drive vehicle, and we will spend 8 hours a day giving you hundreds of photo opportunities. Then back to the lodge to enjoy the seafood you helped to capture, plus our famous chowder. Day ends on the balcony as you watch the sunset in the west.
Typically the day dawns up here with a low-lying fog that hangs over the cool water of the inlet. We head up to Quatsino, just down channel, about 30 minutes by boat. We are in no hurry. The fog is burning off in the warm rays of a west coast summer sun, and there's plenty of time to do a little hunting and gathering along the way.
Got a couple of keepers, so you can only keep the males, eh? Okay, there you go. That's a female.
Yeah.
That's her eggshell.
Right. So they go in?
Female. Another female.
I hope these big ones are males.
Those are dinner.
These are the dinner?
That's a male.
Yeah.
See that shape? But he's undersized.
Right.
Just a little bit. We get him half a year from him.
You'll come back and get him
That's
next year.
a male.
But he's good enough.
And he's good enough. And the thing is, you pinch this one.
Yeah.
And if it's hard shell,
right,
it's full of meat. If it's a soft shell, he's just got a new shell.
Yeah.
Then he's no good. You know?
Yeah.
Now there's a bigger male.
Oh, that's a nice one.
Let's see, he's a little softer.
Yeah.
That means he's only had this shell for about 2-3 months.
Yeah.
It takes him about 6 months to fill the shell up with
Right.
meat.
So he's.
But that's good dinner one too.
Good dinner. For a minute there, I thought I would throw it away. Let's talk about how there's nobody up here and how you. Right, there's not a whole lot of people up here. I mean, getting in here.
Oh, like this little bay?
Yeah, or this whole area. I'm talking about the area now.
Yeah, this is... Most of the people, if you saw them today, they'd be on the outside fishing. They'd go out past Winter Harbor. But this inland waterway, there's about 40, 50 kilometers of inland waterway. Nobody uses it.
Quatsino is a tiny hamlet of 91 people. It's located on Quatsino Sound. The village is known to have one of British Columbia's only one-room schoolhouses still in use today. It's a 2-story wooden building built in 1935. The area grew as resources were developed, and it boasted numerous mines, canneries, a general store, rental cabins, a hotel, and even a saloon. The village was a thriving community up until the 1940s, when, without road access, its economy was usurped by its neighboring towns. It's almost as if time has stood still here, amongst the old growth forest. The oldest building on North Vancouver Island is also located in Quatsino. It's a woodland chapel called St. Olaf's Anglican Church, and it was built in 1897.
After a short stop at the Quatsino Museum, it's off to explore the Marble River. A 5-kilometer hike through old-growth forest on a beautifully groomed trail brings you to Bear Falls, where, with patience, you can snap pictures like these in late August and September.
The residents of Port Alice shared life in a community which was isolated from the rest of the province. But now, with a paved highway and tourists discovering this Shangri-La, the dynamics have changed forever. Are the changes for the better? Well, that depends on who you talk to. But here's a hint. If you're looking for a retirement home in this area, either to buy or to rent, you'd better do it now. I'm John Lovelace, and thanks for watching Wings Over Canada.
For further information, please go to blairmclean@hotmail.com or contact me directly, Blair McLean, Box 818, Campbell River, British Columbia, Canada, V9W6Y4. Telephone, area code 250-286-6016.